Now, Biden did make one good point during the debate, and really only one. He pointed out that socialists are exploiting the coronavirus. And he didn't do it quite that explicitly, but he may as well have. He responded to those socialists calling for Medicare for all, saying the coronavirus proves we need to completely nix our healthcare system, which is by far the highest quality healthcare system in the world, and we need to move to a Medicare for all socialist healthcare plan. Joe Biden said, wait a second, you know what country has Medicare for all? Italy. And Italy is dealing with this crisis worse than anybody.
All due respect to Medicare for all, you have a single-payer system in Italy. It doesn't work there. It has nothing to do with Medicare for all. That would not solve the problem at all.
Absolutely right. A really good point. And Bernie Sanders, for his part, by the way, could not answer the question. Listen to him babble and babble and babble.
If you were president right now, what would you do to make sure every sick American is able to get treatment so the U.S. does not suffer the same fate as Italy, where doctors have to decide right now who gets life-saving treatment and who does not?
Jake, let's be honest and understand that this coronavirus pandemic exposes the incredible weakness and dysfunctionality of our current healthcare system. Now, we're spending twice as much per person on healthcare as the people of any other country. How in God's name does it happen that we end up with 87 million people who are uninsured or underinsured, and there are people who are watching this program tonight who say, I'm not feeling well. Should I go to the doctor? But I can't afford to go to the doctor.
Now, did you notice in that whole rambling answer, it goes on for like another minute or two. You notice what he didn't answer? Jake Tapper's question. He can't address the problem of Italy. All these leftists who say, we need a socialist healthcare system. Look at how terrible the American healthcare system is. We've got 61 people that have died from this virus, unlike Italy with a socialist healthcare system that has over 1,000. Wait a second. Maybe they haven't paid attention to that. Bernie Sanders doesn't have an answer, and nobody else does either. You know, we try to take your questions if you are on the Daily Wire app or website, so please send them in before the end of the show, especially this week when so many shows are off and information is hard to come by. Question now from KP. Is Bernie signaling he's going to drop out of the race? He didn't act like he really wanted to harm Biden. Maybe. He's not signaling that he wanted to drop out of the race, I don't think. He's signaling that he's not running to get the nomination. He's not going to drop out. He is trying to force Joe Biden into a leftist box. That's the ideological reason that he's staying in the race. He knows that he's got some popularity in the Democratic Party, and so he wants to force Joe Biden to adopt some of his policies. I'm not saying he didn't want to harm Joe Biden last night. I think that's bringing it too far. I think he wanted to pressure Joe Biden. Like if this were a totally hands-off, I'm about to drop out and endorse you, Joe, then he wouldn't have made these points. At one point he called Joe Biden a liar, actually. We'll get into that in just one second. So I don't think he went easy on Joe, but I think he wasn't hard charging in thinking that he's going to get the nomination. He wants to make Joe Biden more left-wing, and he's going to stick in the race because Joe Biden doesn't seem to have all his marbles. He doesn't have a lot of physical stamina, and there's a real chance that he will just physically not be able to be the general election nominee, in which case, if Bernie Sanders has more and more delegates, he'll be able to force the Dems to give him the nomination. So he doesn't have a huge chance to win, but he is pushing Joe. And one of the reasons I say he didn't go easy on him, at one point, he called Joe Biden a liar.
My Lord, Bernie, you're running ads saying I'm opposed to Social Security, that PolitiFact says is a flat lie, and that the Washington Post said is a flat lie.
Oh, well, let me ask you a question, Joe.
Yeah.
You're right here with me.
Yeah.
Have you been on the floor of the Senate? You were in the Senate for a few years.
Yeah.
Time and time again talking about the necessity, with pride, about cutting Social Security, cutting Medicare, cutting veterans programs.
No.
You never said that.
No.
All right. America, go to the website right now. Go to the YouTube right now.
Dishonest. Totally dishonest. And Joe Biden knows it. I mean, Joe Biden's held every side of every single position. So Bernie landed that blow. Bernie landed another blow on him, which is Bernie has been saying he doesn't have any super PACs supporting him. So Joe Biden thought that he could get him on this. He said, you have 9 super PACs supporting you, Bernie, and so you're a liar. And then Bernie comes right back at him. He goes, I don't have 9 super PACs. Joe says, you want me to name them? Bernie says, yes, and Joe can't do it.
You get rid of the 9 super PACs you have?
I don't have 9 super. I don't have
You
any
have
super.
9. You want me to list them?
No, yeah, you go ahead and listen.
Okay, come on. Give me a break. Come
No, I won't give you a break on this one.
Oh, it's so embarrassing. Bernie totally called his bluff, and then Joe Biden just had nothing. He's like, yeah, you want me to name them? Yes, I would like you to name them. Anyway, it's just, you don't want to be in that position. Don't offer to do that if you can't actually accomplish it. Thank you for tuning into the Daily Wire, one of the fastest growing conservative media outlets in the country. If you enjoyed this video, and really, even if you didn't, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss out on any of our content.